Welcome to another episode of A Shot in the Dark. This is your host, Jon Siino Evil here. Let's get right down to it. My apologies if my voice sounds a little rough. Just, a little under the weather, as a lot of people are this time of the year. We are going to get right into AEW, as they had 3 straight nights of action going into Dynamite this week. Starting with Sunday with the Women's Eliminator Tournament. So I'm going to start in chronological order. So on Sunday, we get 3 matches here. The first match is probably my favorite match of the entire week, and this is a 6-woman match from Japan with Hikaru Shida, Mei Suruga, and Rin Kanemaru defeating Emi Sakura, Maki Ito, and Veni. Like I said, I love this match. All 6 women looked outstanding here. They were able to show off, and I really wish they would all make their way over to AEW and join Shida and boost that division up. Shida was able to get the pin on Veni after the Tamashi. After the match, the heels tried to jump and beat down on Shida, but the babyfaces were able to fight them off. Match number 2. Yuka Sakazaki with a record of 3-4 versus Ryo Mizunami. This is the finals of the the Japanese side of the women's tournament here. Tough showing from Yuka, but Ryo does end up winning, increasing to a 4-0 record to win the Japanese side of this. Match number 3 was the semifinals of the US side. We have Thunder Rosa with a record of 8-3 versus Ryo with a record of 12-6. Great back and forth action here, but Rosa does get a cradle out of nowhere for the pin to advance to the finals. And we go to the next day, Monday night. We have Leva Bates with a record of 0-1 versus Maddie Rankowski with a record of 0-2. Rankowski with a surprise victory here. She gets the referee distracted as she hits Bates over the head with one of Leva Bates' books, getting her first victory in AEW. Match number 2, Layla Hirsch with a record of 2-2 versus Miranda Alizé with a record of 0-1. Easy submission win here from Layla with the arm breaker. And then we go into the finals of the United States bracket. Thunder Rosa now with a record of 9-3 versus Nyla Rose with a record of 25-7. Nyla Rose does win with the Beast Bomb after Rosa jumps off the top rope right into it. So that is our finals. We have Nyla Rose versus Ryo on this coming episode of Dynamite. I'm a little surprised by this. I expected Thunder Rosa to possibly win, but with NWA Power relaunching in the next couple of weeks, which is a show I will probably cover here on Shot in the Dark, I can see them possibly wanting their NWA women's division back with her as well as Serena Deeb, so I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of stay off of AEW for a little bit, unless these open doors swing that way as well. And the third night in a row of AEW, we have an episode of AEW Dark with 14 matches. So 14 matches, plus 3 on Sunday, plus 3 on Monday. We get a total of 20 AEW matches on this episode of Shot in the Dark. Not complaining. Match number 1, the Nightmare Family, Aaron Solo and Lee Johnson with a record of 0-4, accompanied by Arn Anderson versus the team of Chris Peaks and Louis Valley with a record of 0-1. Johnson does pin Valley here after the Blue Thunder Bomb, giving Aaron Solo his first victory in AEW. Match number 2, Diamante and Ivelisse with a record of 4-0, undefeated, versus Kylan King and Red Velvet teaming up for the first time. Red Velvet does get the pin on Ivelisse here after a running dropkick to the side of the head, giving Diamante and Ivelisse their first loss in AEW as a tag team, and a good little push here for Red Velvet going into her tag team match with Shaq. Match number 3, Top Flight, with a record of 3-0 versus Fuego del Sol and John Cruz. Darius Martin does get the pin here on Fuego after an assisted bulldog that they call the Icebreaker. Match number 4, the Gun Club with a record of 2-0 versus Tony Vega, Aaron Fryer, and Angel Fashion. Taz and Excalibur, they made fun of the fact that they kept slipping and calling Billy Gunn, saying that there's a swear jar for it, that they can't call him that. And Billy does get the pin on Fashion after the 310 to Yuma. Match number 5, Abaddon, we haven't seen her in a while, with a record of 7-2 versus Renee Michelle with a record of 0-1. Total destruction from Abaddon, winning easily here with the Cemetery Drive. They made note that the only 2 losses from Abaddon's record are from Hikaru Shida. Match number 6, JD Drake, returning here to AEW with a record of 0-1 versus Stu Grayson in a rare singles match with a record of 25-8. Grayson does get the win here on the much bigger Drake after hitting the Nightfall backbreaker, very impressive looking. The Acclaim, they do a shopping network style commercial where they pretty much made fun of Dark Order's Kool-Aid. They showed this really skinny guy drinking it and transforming into a Dark Order member. And then go into another rap video where Max Caster is dissing Preston Vance before their match on Dynamite. It was okay. I appreciate the fact that the Acclaim is pretty consistent with these rap videos they do pretty much weekly here. Match number 7, Bear Country with a record of 2-0 versus Badu and Baron Black. Bear Bronson does pin Baron Black after the shoulder avalanche. And right after the match, the Butcher and the Blade come out with chairs and started beating down on Bear Country. It's been a while. The commentary reminded me that Bear Country, I guess, got involved with Butcher and the Blade on the episode of Dynamite. I think it was a lumberjack match, if I'm not mistaken. I felt like that was such a long time ago that this kind of felt kind of random, but I wouldn't mind seeing this tag team match on Dynamite proper. Match number 8, Dark Order consisted of Evil Uno, Alan Five Angels, and Cole Cabana versus Larry Shapiro, John Skyler, and Rising. -1 was back with the Dark Order in this match. Evil Uno does get the pin on Rising after hitting a flatliner. Match number 9, Max Caster with a record of 12-6 versus JJ Garrett with a record of 0-1. Max Caster spits a freestyle making fun of Garrett's 80s mullet, saying that he looked like a broke Brian Pillman, and said that his name was short for VJJ. Get it? JJ Garrett? VJJ Garrett? Yeah. Caster hits a low blow after Bowens in his boombox distract the referee, and then he hits an elbow off the top rope that he calls the mic drop for the pin. Match number 10, Sean Dean and Carly Bravo with a record of 0-2, which I have to note they're probably the only enhancement talents on here that actually got an entrance in this match. On this show. They took on the Hybrid 2 with a record of 0-1, and Helico gets the submission on Bravo for the win with a Naharo Death Roll. Match number 11, Orange Cassidy with a record of 16-9-1 versus Steven Stetson with a record of 0-1. Fun short match here. Steven Stetson's like a cowboy type gimmick, so in the start of the match, Cassidy takes off the cowboy hat and wears it, doing his usual shenanigans, and he wins after hitting a orange punch followed by the beach break for the win. Match number 12, Chuck Taylor, another guy in a rare singles match here, with a record of 28-18 versus VSK with a record of 0-1. Pretty funny moment here. You never really see the bell ring, and then you hear the entrances. So the bell rings, and VSK is trying to get starting in the match with Chuck Taylor, but as he's going to lunge, Justin Roberts starts announcing him, and he's kind of thrown off by that. Okay, you should have done that before the bell. But a little interesting note here. You don't really see that many hiccups in AEW, but that was one. But Chuck Taylor does get the win here after hitting a jumping pile driver on VSK. Match number 13, 10 with a record of 3-0. It's a lot of numbers. Versus Daniel Joseph with a record of 0-1. -1 jumps on commentary during this match, and right away starts bullying on Excalibur. Ted makes short work of Joseph, winning with a powerbomb. And our main event was Mike Seidel, with a record of 0-2, versus SCU, Daniels and Kazarian, with a record of 4-0. SCU, they keep their tag team intact once again, with Kazarian getting the pin on Mike Seidel after hitting the best Meltzer ever. We go on to NXT UK. Xia Brookside versus Nina Samuels, but the stipulation is that the loser becomes the winner's personal assistant for 1 month. Samuels tried to cheat and use a purse as a foreign object, but her current assistant at the time, didn't want nothing to do with this, so he kind of walked out on her or got fired by Samuels. But Brookside was able to dodge the purse and hit a bridge on Samuels for the pin. Samuels threw a fit after the match after realizing what's in store for her for the next 30 days, as she is the personal assistant now of Xia Brookside. We get another video update from Trent 7, trying to slim down to 205 Live, looking pretty good. We go backstage where we see Ilya Dragunov, who gets challenged to a match by Sam Gradwell that he agrees to. That should be in the next coming weeks. We then go into Bailey Matthews, who's the son of Wiliam Regal, making his debut in NXT UK. I've seen him as Joe Bailey previously in Evolve, and right away I was impressed with him without even knowing that he was Regal's son, and later on I found out, and I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. So in his debut match, he goes against Tyler Bate. Great showing for Matthews here. It wasn't just a squash match, but Bate does end up winning here after hitting the Tiger Driver. We see a coming soon vignette for German wrestler Meta Yahan, who you might have seen in WXW, formerly known as Lucky Kid. He is coming here to NXT UK. Backstage, we see Piper Niven confronting Joseph Connors, trying to find Ginny. Niven smacks Connors and gets attacked from behind by Ginny. Niven says to Sid Scala that she wants a handicap match against them, and Scala says that he cannot do that. So Piper randomly looks around and just grabs Jack Stars, who was standing back there, and says that he'll be her partner. And Scala seems to agree to this tag team match. Aoife Valkyrie versus Lana Austin. This is Austin's second NXT UK match, her first coming from January 2019. Aoife does get the win here after hitting an axe kick from the top rope to continue her undefeated streak. They announced on the March 11th episode of NXT UK, we will get Tyler Bate versus Dave Mastiff, after Tyler Bate was pretty much asking for more competition. And we also get the match of Piper Niven and Jack Stars versus Ginny and Joseph Connors. We go backstage, we get a little comedy segment where Nina Samuels is trying to lug around the luggage from Xia Brookside, who's pretty much laughing it off. We go backstage to see Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan say that they're excited to watch the main event tonight, and now that Kenny is 100%, they will be facing off against Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter on the next episode of NXT UK. We also got the announcement that Tyler Bate will be on the Supernova Sessions with Noam Dar. And our main event, the NXT UK Tag Team Championship, Gallus, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang defending against Pretty Deadly, Sam Stoker, and Lewis Howley. Lewis Howley gets the pin on Mark Coffey after they were able to hit a DDT on Coffey on top of one of the tag team titles, followed by the spilt milk as the referee was distracted. So Pretty Deadly are now the new NXT UK Tag Team Champions, ending the long reign of Gallus. Sorry guys, I'm trying here. 205 Live. Kurt Stallion and Mansoor defeated Everrise, the team of Chase Parker and Matt Martell. Bollywood Boys came out to try and help out Everrise, but it backfired, so Mansoor rolled up Chase Parker for the pin, and the main event was August Gray, accompanied by Jake Atlas, defeating Tony Nese, accompanied by Arya Daivari. Both seconds on the outside try to get involved, but Gray does get the win with the unprettier. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, probably the most watched episode. I'm not going to get into too many details here, as I do have a report on postwrestling.com if you want to get a little bit more about this show. But basically, just run off the results. Brody King, ACH, and the Regal Twins defeated TJP, Clark Connors, the DKC, and Kevin Knight at 8:36. Interesting here that Brody King always wears his mask and his hoodie, and ACH and Regal Twins came out with it as well. It reminded me of kind of like the old Survivor Series matches when like they would all kind of dress alike, like Doink, with the Men on the Mission on Bushwhackers. Yeah. Ren Narita defeated Chris Dickinson at 7:51. They really pushed that this is like a big win for Narita coming off of this. And the main event, the match that everybody probably tuned in to watch, IWGP United States title. Jon Moxley defended Kenta at 14:25. Very surprised by this, but like I said, just go ahead to postwrestling.com to read my report for more. Ring of Honor had a really big Championship Edition episode. We have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles defending in a Pure Rules match as Dragon Lee and Kenny King of La Facción Ingobernable defeated Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham of the Foundation to win the tag team titles when Dragon Lee hit an illegal punch on Gresham for the pin. So basically in these Pure Rules matches they only have a certain amount of punches that I guess they had used already earlier in the match, so with the referee distracted, Dragon Lee was able to hit it and get the pin and get the win. So now Dragon Lee is a double champion with the tag titles as well as the TV title. And in the main event, Rush, also of El Fasciano Ingobernable, defended his world his world heavyweight title against Shane Taylor. Kenny King, so pretty much going into this match, Kenny King was trying to get this match called off because he was saying how he's really close to Shane Taylor and he didn't want to see this match happen. So the ending of the match was pretty much Rush trying to use a steel chair on Shane Taylor. Kenny King comes in, grabs a chair from Rush, and then he goes to like tease that he's hitting Rush with it, but Rush kind of, Rush goes and ducks, and he hits Shane Taylor. So pretty much it's a ruse the entire time, and Kenny King was on the side of Rush. So Rush does win the match and retaining the title here. On WWE main event, Mansoor, making his main event debut, defeated Drew Gulak, and Elias and Jackson Riker defeated Akira Tozawa and Roberto Carrillo. We get another episode of Progress Wrestling. This is chapter 105, Bring the Thunder. We have the Natural Progression series ending here with the semifinals of Warren Banks defeated Danny Black, and Luke Jacobs defeated Ethan Allen, and then Luke Jacobs defeated Warren Banks to win the title, to win the tournament, getting himself a future Progress Championship match. We also had the Lycos Gym. Lycos Kid 1 and Lycos Kid 2 defeated Big Guns Joe and Gene Money, and Elijah defeated Chuck Mambo. Karen Noor defended the Progress World title against Chris Ridgway, and in the Thunder Bastard match, the first ever Women's Thunder Bastard match for the number one contendership for the women's title, Kanji defeated Alexis Falcon, Giselle Shaw, Lana Austin, Mercedes Blaze, Mila McKenzie, and Talanga. And we also get a new episode of ICW Fight Club was also added to the network, leading up to their upcoming ICW Barred Steel Cage event coming soon. That is it. Again, I apologize if I kind of stumbled over some things, as it's kind of tough trying to do this solo while you're a little bit under the weather. But hopefully by next week I'll be at 100%. But that is it for this week, so catch me here next week for another Shot in the Dark.